As Murdoch goes to New York Mutual regarding a loan for his law firm, he's turned down by the assistant bank manager, Yusuf Khan. Yes, Kamala Khan's father is featured heavily throughout this episode, and he's actually really fucking good in it. Because shortly after Murdoch leaves, the bank is attacked by a group of Irish bank robbers led by a man named Devlin, and on St. Patrick's Day no less. I think the episode could have done a better job of capitalizing on the fun of real-world St. Patrick's Day activities by being released a week earlier, but whatever, I guess. Irish heritage gets to be celebrated for a week longer than expected, and the episode is really damn good, regardless of its release date. So Murdoch returns to the bank, knocks out some of the robbers, helps Khan open the bank vault, and discovers that the robbers were after a rare diamond of some kind. When the police burst in, Murdoch finds out that the ringleader was disguised as one of the hostages the entire time, and that Devlin has escaped by dressing as a cop himself. So Murdoch dons one of the robbers' masks and tracks down Devlin to retrieve the diamond, which he later returns to Khan, of course. And I have to admit that I really enjoyed this episode. It may even be my favorite episode of the series so far. The action was exciting, the bank heist itself was fun and suspenseful, and I really liked the camaraderie between Murdoch and Yusuf Khan. As a matter of fact, I think this is the first time that I actually cared about Yusuf as a character. Not that I didn't enjoy his presence before, but he was just really damn good in this episode specifically. So I do hope that we get to see him paired up with Murdoch again in the future. Meanwhile, the 6th episode reveals that the masked serial killer who is running around draining people's blood is actually a street artist who goes by the name of Muse. And Muse has been using his victims' blood to create the street art that we've seen throughout the series so far, which is totally fucked. And it provokes Fisk into establishing an anti-vigilante task force that will have unlimited jurisdiction in order to apprehend him. Meanwhile, Hector Ayala's niece Angela tries to convince Murdoch to investigate the killings because she believes her uncle was also investigating them prior to his death. But when Murdoch seems to disregard the situation, Angela attempts to track Muse to his hideout and is abducted herself. This finally causes Murdoch to suit up as Daredevil again, leading to an action-packed sequence where he infiltrates Muse's lair, incapacitates him, and rescues Angela before her blood can be drained. So fans who have been upset by the surprising lack of Daredevil in this series should be satisfied with this episode specifically, especially since Daredevil's return is juxtaposed against Kingpin's return, because when Fisk visits Adam and challenges him to a fight, Fisk beats the shit out of him and just drags him back to his cell. I mean, I don't think that's the healthiest way to get out your anger from your cheating wife or your boring job, but it definitely is in line with the Kingpin that I know from the Netflix series. So, Daredevil and Kingpin are officially back. Yes, despite the fact that both characters have been desperately trying to turn over a new leaf, they just can't help but to revert back to their older selves. Which not only made for a compelling character-driven story to follow, but it also allowed these episodes to be exciting and action-oriented. So it'll be interesting to see where this series will take these two characters, especially as they start to interact with more characters from the MCU. Because not only was Murdoch able to pal around with Kamala Khan's father, but Fisk had a confrontational conversation with Tony Dalton's swordsman as well. And it was definitely nice to see his character again, since I thought he was severely underutilized in the Hawkeye series. So I hope we'll get to see more of his character in the future. But I guess we'll see what'll actually happen on the next episode of Daredevil Born Again, once it gets released on Tuesday.